Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Pink Property Podcast. I'm Leo O'Brien, here with my colleague and business partner, David Kirby.
Morning.
This week, we wanted to talk to you about careers in agency. It's a question we're often asked of varying people. How do you get into it? What happens next? And are there any jobs available? So we thought we'd cover off some of the most popular questions that we get asked, try to shed a bit of light on how we got into it and what happens here. And it's quite similar across other agencies to maybe help you take your first steps towards getting into estate agency.
Absolutely.
So, Dave, I can quiz you on this.
Yes.
So, a couple of questions. What's available to somebody in an estate agency business as a job? What are the jobs?
Yeah, so varying job roles from quite a junior level up to a senior level, which is great. And you can come into the business at any stage, which we'll talk about in a bit. But we have customer service assistants here. We have people that do our valuations for us here. We have mortgage advisors, rental lettings negotiators, letting manager, property manager, accounts clerks. So there's lots and lots of different job roles in one office in agency. So really interesting.
Over the past couple of years as well, we've sort of started to expand on the business and I've introduced some different job roles, which are slightly different from your traditional business. So now we have Jack, who is our full-time head of media production here at David Lee. So does all the professional photography and the video that we do in the business and really helps us stand out. We have marketing department. So Ruth works in our marketing and is solely focused on our marketing output through social media, print media, and on the website. And we've got a new starter coming in, who is Leanne, who is solely focused on high performance and development at David Lee. So she works with everybody within the business and works to get that extra 10% out of everybody to make sure that everybody is living their best life in terms of the business that they're doing and that they're performing to the highest level, providing constant training, support and coaching. So there's sort of three roles that just simply really didn't exist in our business 5 years ago. So the business is changing and we're combining what was some of the traditional roles with some of the new roles that are available as the business develops.
Yeah, it's more than just negotiator, valuer. That's where you used to sort of think it is, but it's more than that now. The team do more varied roles and much more exciting.
How did you get in? It's a question we're often asked. I suppose we might tell our own stories. They're a little while ago now, but Dave, how did you get in?
So I finished school, did A-levels, didn't want to go to university, didn't think that further education was for me, so I wanted to go and get a job. Cars interested me, so I went on a couple of interviews for car sales jobs, and I quite like the idea of estate agency. So I went on 2 or 3 interviews for estate agency. Got offered a couple of jobs in an agency, chose a great one over in Hoddesdon, and started as a 18-year-old straight out of school, being an estate agent. Started at the bottom run. At the time, it was a junior negotiator, and that's where it started. So, that's how I got into it. And it was, at the time, adverts in a local newspaper. It was in the Hertfordshire Mercury, and that's where I saw the job advert. So that's how I got into agency.
My journey is not too dissimilar. Again, I started straight out of sixth form, full-time into agency. Just as I was leaving sixth form, I had already got a part-time job in an agency, and I used to work there in the evenings and on a Saturday, stuffing envelopes at the time, which is, again, something that we don't do anymore, is printed details out in the post. So I used to go in and stuff envelopes for an agency. And then as I left sixth form to go into a full-time role, I then walked the high street and visited the rest of the agencies to see if there was a full-time position available, and actually then joined William H. Brown as well in a full-time position, and went through their sort of training academy and their training program, starting as a junior negotiator, like Dave, and it's where we met back in 2002. That was so. qualifications, that's something that is asked of us. What qualifications do you need to get into agency?
Yeah, so to start off, depending on what role you want to do, you don't need any qualifications. There's no requirement for it. There are some bits available, and we certainly put all our staff through training and qualifications that are available. Obviously, Jack in media has different qualifications to mortgage advisors, and Leanne doing our high performance. But from an estate agency side, there's some basic qualifications that you can do.
Yeah, a lot of the training is on job, on the job training until you get to the sort of qualification and the property qualification stage. Qualifications that you do go through after that period of experience of coming into the business is the National Association of Estate Agents Property Mark. Level 2 qualification is the one that we put our staff
sort of
and
a
team through.
GMVQ level, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
That you can do lettings or sales on. So,
it's a diploma in property services. So, that is a qualification that's available to you later, and there is a lettings one as well. So, there is a sales and a lettings one. What does it pay? One of the questions that I'm sure people are quite considering. So what are the, probably better to talk in sort of a bit of brackets, and because there is a bit of difference depending on where you are in the country and what it comes with. But what sort of the pay bands really, David?
So you're probably looking as a sort of a starter, somewhere between £15,000 and £20,000 as a basic salary. With commission being added at some point in time.
After a bit of experience.
Probably. And then as you go up the run to the next levels, senior negotiator, maybe sort of 20 to 25,000 as a basic plus some commission. And then when you get further on from there to a more senior level, could be 25 to 30 as a basic with on-target earnings. 35 to £50,000.
So that on-target earnings, which people obviously they might see that as an OTE, like they see a 35 OTE. What does that sort of just mean for them when they're looking at it? So the makeup.
So made up of a basic salary and then a commission on. We pay here commission on the properties that are sold, so you'll get a percentage of our fee that we get paid by the client. And there's usually a couple of other ways to earn a bit of money, from referrals to solicitors, referrals to the mortgage company, referrals to a surveyor. So there are some additions there as well. And
your target effectively should allow you to earn that money that's advertised, really. So
absolutely,
they'll set you a target, should be realistic. You hope that it's realistic, and that should be what you would be able to achieve.
We lay it out very simply. We can show someone what we've earned over the last year and what their percentage is likely to be of that. So we do a lot of predictions on what the market's going to do and where we should be. So our on-target earnings, I think, are very accurate.
It's a real bugbear of mine to be able to be over-promising. I think we've been over-promised in the past in businesses, and it's something that we just don't want to do to our staff. So we're very clear around what's happened. We'll only ever work on the previous year's numbers, not on predicted numbers. It's like, this is what you would have earned doing it last year, and we hope to exceed that this year, but we're not going to show you a figure that exceeds that this year, so that it is as straight down the line as we can get it. Is there the ability for progression?
Absolutely, So
could it be a career? Effectively? I think it's
absolutely
a big question.
right. And people want to know that. I think certainly if you're coming in at the lower end of the business and you're one of the younger staff, then you want to see some progression, and that's something we do. We've got Leanne coming on board very soon that is going to help us with that progression. But without a doubt, if you start off as a customer service assistant and want to progress up to the levels of Mark here, that's our sort of senior valuer, then there are stages that you can go through, and that's what the team are doing here.
And that's what we did.
And that's what we did. That's what we did, mate.
As we worked our way through it. Benefits, sort of things that might come with a role that might not be openly obvious when you're coming into an agency. What are some of the things that might be included?
Sort of little extras. Company cars. We have pool cars that the team use during the day to run around in, which is nice. Get a discount if you're selling your house.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pensions usually covered on there.
Pension, absolutely. Things like good access to mortgages. we've got a mortgage advisor that sits in here.
Inside track.
We all know exactly what's going on in the mortgage market. And as an outsider or someone working outside of that, wouldn't get that insight.
We certainly get discount on them actually using that process as well, don't they? So
absolutely.
through the broker, which is good.
Yeah.
And we just want to talk to you about maybe some case studies to put some reality around it, really. Amy, who's one of our customer service assistants here, started with the business about 3 months ago. Had great experience on the telephone and in sales and customer service based roles, and has joined David Lee as a customer service assistant. She will now work over the next couple of months and then move from a fixed salary into a fixed salary plus commission as her experience grows. And we're going to be working with her to continue to develop her into the business and help her grow through her role from customer service assistant through to negotiator, to out doing viewings and conducting things like that.
Absolutely.
So she's starting on her journey. And then we've got Mike, who's with us as well, who's a little bit further along in the journey. He's slightly older than Amy, but had fantastic sales experience and a background, and really had a passion for being an estate agency. So much so that when Mike came in to see me, before he joined us, he'd already enrolled and started in his National Association of Estate Agents Property exams. So had bought the paperwork and was already doing the pre-work in terms of building his knowledge base to enter the business. So he's worked through our customer service assistant program and into negotiation, and he's out doing viewings and meeting people and negotiating offers. And his overall goal is to work towards being on our associate program and being a valuer for the business. So over the next 12 months, he wants to continue on that path and actually be out and valuing property as his knowledge has built.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, which is really exciting. So yeah, a couple of case studies there that show you can come into the business at every level and at different levels with different experience. And yeah, get stuck in.
Work your way through.
Yeah, really interesting. If you've got any more questions about it, or you like the idea of maybe starting your career in agency, then please do give myself or Lee a call. We've got some information on our website about careers as well, so please take a look. We'd love to have a chat. So yeah.
Thanks very much for watching.
Bye-bye.